We are just outside of Salt Lake City at Alta Ski Resort, which is the 4th race in the Cirque Series this year, with 7 miles and 2,500 feet of climbing. It's gonna be a good day. The Alta race is the 4th race in the series, but for me, this is gonna be my 2nd race of the year in this series. It's been a pretty hectic and crazy year just with work and life and weddings and all the fun things, and I'm just excited that I get to run, a handful of these races and see some familiar faces and try to go after some times that I had set last year and see how I compare from last year to this year. My goals going into the Alta race were pretty similar to the ones at Snowbird, which, included having a solid warm-up where I could just, make sure that my body and my mind were in sync and were pretty ready to go, and being able to stay present and kind of use the grade adjustment on the trail. Every time there's a change in grade on the incline or the descent, kind of using that to gauge, okay, where am I right now? Like, how present am I right now? Like, am I here or am I thinking about things that are totally irrelevant to the race? Starting with the warm-up, I feel like I had the perfect amount of time where I wasn't just like, oh, I did my warm-up and now I don't know what to do, right? Like, I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs, but I also didn't feel like rushed where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time to go to the bathroom for the 4th time, even though I don't really need to go. Like, the amount of time I gave myself to physically and mentally prepare for the start of that race was really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, another annual of the Cirque Series 2024 edition.
After the gun went off, I just wanted to run my own race, even if that meant, having a slower start and needing to make that up later. Like, I think that was just the headspace that I was in from the start, was like, okay, I'm just gonna let them go. We're gonna feel long and strong and just like go and cruise. I think that was great for me because I felt good, I felt calm. And I think that that's something I struggled with a lot last year, was not feeling calm and feeling really anxious and just like so much energy that I almost didn't know what to do with it during, especially the start of races, like the first mile or two. I'd have so much of this frantic energy that I didn't know what to do with. And by me being able to kind of just like let people go and just focus on my goals for the day and what I wanted to get out of the day, I think really helped me kind of have a sustained pace and headspace for the rest of the day. I would say out of all of the races in the series, Alta, Targhee, and A Basin, so kind of the back half of the series, are the most runnable in terms of like the climb, the grade being a little bit more manageable, and then also not as technical as maybe the first half of those races. You start up the double track and it kind of stays that way all the way up until you get close to Baldy, and then it kind of funnels into this super narrow single track. And once you get to that point, you kind of traverse across, scramble a little bit. That section is super short, and that's probably the steepest section. And then you top out on Baldy and start to make a pretty gnarly descent, which is loose. You've got these tight switchbacks, it's steep, and it's so much fun.
You're crushing, Jamie. Yeah.
It's such a fun course in terms of the way that it climbs and the way it descends, and this time of year too, the flowers and everything are just so vibrant and so bright and pretty, and I think that's part of why those downhills are so fun and why that was my favorite part of the race too, you know, was my cousins Hattie and Hazel, their favorite colors are pink and purple, and that entire downhill is covered in pink and purple wildflowers. And I mean, that's all I could think of the entire time. I am having so much fun on these downhills. I'm thinking about the girls, and it made that downhill feel so fun and so playful and so just like joyful, because I kind of had that combination of those two thoughts.
Water! Go, Joe, go! Let's go! Go, Joe, go! Water!
Thank you, guys.
Last front.
Bye!
You go past the last aid station, you're making your way to the finish line. Letting my legs go, I'm able to catch people, but there's some times where like I'll see somebody way far ahead of me, and like I'll kind of put it out of my mind of like, I'm just letting my legs go. If we catch them, we catch them. If not, whatever. And it's almost like every single time we catch them, and then it's like, shoot, now I gotta like actually kick because we're here, and I'm like, they're right there, so I gotta kick. But it's almost like my legs know what to do, and I can just like trust myself to like do what I need to do. That's been a lot of work, building that trust with myself, and I think working with my coaches this year, having that mental aspect be 50-50 with the physical stuff, like I think that that's made all the difference in my training and how I'm performing, and I can feel it. I wanted to beat my time from last year, and it was funny. I crossed the finish line, and one of my coaches, Pat, was like, "Did you notice anything different on the course this year?" And I was like, "No, it kind of all looked the same, but again, I was like 10 minutes slower. Like, what is going on? And then we find out later that there was an extra mile in the climb, because last year I think there was construction going on or something. But I mean, yeah, it didn't really change anything, right? Like, yeah, there was that goal of like, oh, I want to beat my time from last year. But really, I just wanted to have my best effort and know that I gave that. That's all you can really do too. Your time of what you get during the race isn't really within your control, but your perception of your effort and how hard you actually ran, like, you know what that is. Like, you know if you put that in or if you kind of held back in certain areas. And so, I mean, I guess that was really my goal for that race. And I think that's been the goal for every one of these races of like, okay, can I just have an honest effort today?
Hi.
Hi. Hey, I got to run with you for a little bit.
I know, how was it?
It's fun. You were
Was
going
it?
fast. I felt like I was going fast.
Oh, my spine.
I mean, as selfish as that sounds, that's kind of why we started this, was just I wanted to share, you know, this transition and this, you know, journey of like, all right, I'm a super amateur runner. Like, I wasn't good in high school, didn't run in college. Like, can I do this? Can I figure it out? And if I can, here's what it looks like, which is kind of scary because it's like, oh God, everyone's watching and seeing me, you know, fall on my face and figure things out. And oh God, now we're talking about mental health, right? Like, it's, you know, this scary thing sometimes to really be vulnerable and put that out there. But I think it's helped me to see and has helped me to grow. If I can share that and that helps or resonates with a person, that's huge.
Where's the car?
Right here.
Oh, okay. That just made my whole day. Doug follows along on YouTube and just came up to us. 74, crushing it, running the whole series this year, and just came up and said that he watches all of our videos. That's so cool.
Taking those notes from Alta, some bullet points to think about going into Targhee of like, okay, same thing, same goal, every time grade is changing, what's our effort? And just really continuing to practice that. And I think the more I practice that, the quicker and easier it is to like engage. I think that's still a skill that I'm developing, and it just takes a little bit of time. And so I think it'll be the same thing going into Targhee, and I just hope that I can be a little bit quicker with it. And I guess that's kind of my goal and takeaway from Alta going into Targhee. Last year, I felt like I was more physically prepared, but I was not in a good mental state at all. And this year, I feel like I'm in a much better mental state, but physically, I don't feel like I'm quite where I want to be. And that's okay. That's just how it goes sometimes, right? But I'm excited to finally like sync those two things up and feel like, okay, what can I do when I'm actually complete?